Hey, it's Stephen, and in this video I'll show you how my Knack import function works, which allows users to import records via the live app rather than from the backend builder. So my goal here is to import all of these 22 records into my Knack app with reference to their field keys and import different types of fields and make sure that all works nicely. So in my live app, I will upload the CSV file, which I will choose from here and open. If there are no errors, it will allow you to import those records, which I'll do now. You can see the progress, 22 of 22 records have been imported. If I come to the builder, I can see there are 22 records successfully imported, and looks like all the values have mapped across quite nicely. So now I'll use an example where the CSV isn't quite set up right. There's a few missing fields where they're required, or the header is missing the field key. An option might not be available in the multiple choice. The email might not be formatted correctly, or different connection fields might not have those values actually available within our app. So I'm going to try import this now. Again, I'm going to select choose file and try and import. You can see here, first error is all headers must contain a field key with square brackets. That's because we had this one here, which did not have that field key. So that field key is field 29. So I want to go and update that now to be field 29 and save, and that should resolve that issue. So I've just tried to upload that file again, and now I'm receiving 4 new errors. These specify what row of the CSV is erroring, what field, what the error is, and what the value is. So the first one is row 9, which is our short text. And don't be confused, it's row 9 from the second row, excluding the header, which is this one. So because it's a required field in the background, it must have a value. So I'm going to put in value of meadow there. That should resolve that. Coming to the next error, multiple choice, one or more items contains an invalid multiple choice option. I know that option D is not actually available in our multiple choice field here, as you can see there. So the resolution here is to either add option D into the builder or to change the option that was specified in the CSV. So I will just add this as a new option here, and that should then fix that issue. Our next error is this email. There is no actual validation that happens before it's imported to check the email, so it will error post import, which we'll see in a second. Then we have our connections. So I know that there's no account for d@s.me available here, which means I can either add that record or I can change it to be one that's actually valid, which is a@s.me. Similarly, I know there's no category D, so again, I can either add category D here or just update this connection value here. And just note how it's divided by these pipes. That means it's going to try and map all of the values that are between the pipes against these many-to-many connection fields or those many-to-many multiple choice options here. So back in the live app, I'm going to refresh so that we can see those new changes because we've made a few changes in the background. I'm going to choose that file again and import that second file. You can see it's now progressing, but we have one that's an error, and that was that email must be a valid email, and that's Knack's validation that occurs there. Whereas all the other 21 records, if we look here, will have imported nicely, which is good. So now we have to just go and resolve row 7, which is this one here. So I'm going to go delete all of the other records that imported nicely, just leaving now the one that didn't update, and I'll correct that, save, and then let's try and re-import that value, importing one record, and no issues this time. Hopefully, we should see there are 22 records, which is good. So I've showed you how to create new records, but what if we wanted to update existing records? Note here we have a auto increment field where we have a unique value, and that's what I'll be using in this third file, which is this unique number, to go and update this short text value to these letters. So in my code, I've just made a small change to turn that into a update function rather than an insert function. And now I will go and choose that file. Here we have 22 records we're going to import. I'll click those. Looks like those are updating nicely. And if I come back to the records, I can see my short text value has updated as we saw in the CSV file. So now I've highlighted 3 examples, one to create records, one to fix your CSV file to create the records, and then finally to update existing records. So just quickly looking at my JavaScript code, there's a function to render the Knack importer, and then within a view render for a specific view, we're calling that function, and with a few different parameters, we'll specify what form we're going to use the API call to insert or update records, the connector view, which will house all of the connection values, as well as specifying the field mapping for those connections from one table to another. So if you just want to insert new records, you leave this commented out and you specify a create form rather than an update form. And if you want to update, you will remove that, specify what your matching key is, which in our example was the auto ID, which was a unique value, and we specify instead a update form. A couple of other optional parameters are to change the delimiter. So by default, it's the pipe symbol, but we could change it to a comma or anything else that we might use to separate. Additionally, we can use this enforce required as false. That way it won't be so strict on wanting the required fields when a value hasn't been specified. So if you're interested in this import function, I have a link in the description below, which will give you a set of installation instructions. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more Knack related videos, please subscribe to my channel.